I believe that esports auto racing can be as huge as any other sport or esports. I'm a petrol head from Finland, and I'm going to show that to you. Stay tuned.
Welcome, everybody, to Wheel Insights, the podcast that brings you inspirational stories about motorsport and sim racing and everything that surrounds it. Today, we've got someone very special to bring to you, a first for Wheel Insights, and it's Valterri Leitola, the man behind the new concept called International Sustainable Racing, ISR. Valterri, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Let's start where I usually start, right at the beginning. What's your first memory of racing?
That's easy. 1982. I was a young boy in Helsinki and I was watching Keke Rosberg, the Finnish Formula One driver. He was driving at the Williams at that time. And he did actually win the championship at 1982, but he was driving without a turbo. So that was my first. And it was really cool to see a Finnish guy racing with the others, the top guys, top tier of the Formula One, which was at that time, it was something with real mans do. So there was no turning back. That was my first memory.
And he had the hero mustache as well, didn't he? And the long flowing blonde hair as well. That was
yeah. And Marlboro was going all the time. That was a little bit different era. Yeah,
absolutely. Fantastic machines as well. That is particularly that early Williams was something very, very special. Really amazing. I had a similar experience growing up, but we'll get into that. But Monaco is something that just always sets a child, sets an adult alight. Just watching these impossible cars run around these tight streets with these iconic historic buildings. It's something incredible, and you don't care when you're a kid that no one's overtaking or that there's some endemic problem with a Grand Prix. So it's great. I definitely share that completely with you. So Keke Rosberg was the beginning for you, but what happened? How did you decide to take your racing interest any further? What took the spark into something like a flame?
Yeah, there was a huge boom in Finland with indoor karting.
Okay.
And that took all my friends. There was 3 to 4 really good indoor centers. And at the same time, you remember the Jeff Crammond's red labeled PC game?
Yep.
that was the other one that came at the same time. So that was a weird combination, but that happened at the same time. And shortly after that, my first boy, we got him into the indoor karting, and there is something that reminds that time a little bit. This is, a size minimum, but there is, it's S. But yeah, that was the time. So that wasn't anymore just me enjoying karting and driving with the first games. It was us. So and with my boy, we also took that indoor karting into outdoor karting. So the whole transformation wasn't just about me. It was about friends, racing, gaming, and it was something that took you away.
Definitely, and there's a hobby element there as well. I know I had a similar situation, so I was very much into Grand Prix 2, Grand Prix 3. I remember vividly playing those and being disappointed that I didn't have the new livery. So I learned how to change the livery files on MS Paint. And I was there changing pixels by pixels and inputting text for the new sponsors and the new car designs. I remember that so well. But also I used to go remote control race car driving with my stepdad. So we used to go and race. We used to did it indoors quite a lot. We used to go out to what we call stock cars here in the UK, Brisker F1 stock cars. They look nothing like NASCARs, but they look more like Legends racers. And we used to go to our local dirt track every month
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
watch the
I've
cars
seen
drifting
those.
at the
Yeah,
local
yeah, yeah,
speedway.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that was cool.
And it's a family thing because my granddad used to come along. He used to fill in the program results religiously every single race, and he'd have this huge bank of pretty useless old programs. So it's about family, I know, and it's something that connects you and connects everybody. So it's great to hear, and the fact that we've got that thing in common, that game in common. I remember getting Network QRSC Rally as well. I was doing long snow events in deepest darkest Wales, and then I wanted to get a wheel and start. It used to attach to the desk with little like bathroom suckers.
Yeah.
And then you get a particularly bad moment, and you could my family would hear it rip off.
Yeah.
As it was pop, pop, pop.
Yeah. I remember that too. Cool.
So, did you end up with a wheel on the desk? Did you jump that stage?
No. Get out of here. When the spark was so bad, you have to have something else, because as you said, that it's when you're right in the moment, when you're right in the feeling that you are Colin McRae, and then you lose it. So what we did, we found first rigs that were made out of wood. And the manufacturer was an Australian company, a previous racing driver for 70s, 80s, of course 90s, yeah, right. But he had the same problem, but he found a solution. So he made a thing called Hypersting. Okay. And we got to have that. And that changed. That changed so many things, because now you have the driving position. Now you're in a car, you're in a racing car. But as you know, for sim racers and drivers, nothing is ever enough. So we have to mount a JBL behind it, 15-inch, 350 watts power, and we mounted that into the back of the simulator. Well, you can guess the rest. So that was, yeah. And one more thing, then the screen, you have to have a 50-inch screen, of course, wow. Back projection and yeah. Well, you can get the picture. That was something, again, ticking. That was it. Really cool.
I think if I had disposable income at that point, I probably would have been in the same situation. I'm still to this day, I'm always eyeing up the next upgrade, and that's something we all have in common. I know nothing is ever quite. You just think there's one more thing that I just need to change, right? It's the journey of sim racing. It's the journey of anything to do with hobbies like that.
That's passion,
for sure. It is. You're not wrong. Okay. An amazing amount of experience on the sim rig and in karting, Valtteri. But what does it tell me more about who you are at your core? And I understand you were building shows for a living, right? So how do we go from a hobby and interest, something that's taking over so much of your time and your imagination, putting subwoofers behind you? I mean, that was very, very early thinking along those lines. So tell us about who you really are behind all of that, and why does that inform the journey towards ISR?
Well, I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionist, I think, personally. My first passion was during the school age. I wanted to be a rock star.
Yeah.
Well, that can happen if you dream big. Mm-hmm. So it took me somewhere. I got to get the feeling of what to be a recording artist, doing your own music and doing gigs. The next step was going into show business and on the production side. I practiced to be a lighting designer. And as I was coming from the music world, started to working as a lighting designer for rock bands and productions. And that third part took me then to build up own business, which was related, having those three things on it. And that's probably a roundabout nutshell how my kind of guy follows the feeling, follows the passion, and goes where it takes you.
But eyes always open, it seems, to new ways of deploying new skills, looking for opportunities. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What comes to what we are doing now, I've always tried to find a way to execute what I see or feel, or what somebody else sees or feels, and combining ideas and experience. And what we are doing here, what we are talking about here with you, is the ISR.
Yes.
The esports auto racing company. And so far, that is the biggest thing I'm going to do.
So sounds like you're a bit of a showmaker, a bit of a showman. You've had a taste of performing, you've had a taste of performances, and keeping an eye on the audience. So it sounds like that was a fairly natural jump to go from audience to and combine with racing in some way. But how did that start? How did that collision happen between those two parts of yourself? And when did you start thinking there was something that's missing from auto racing esports?
Yes. We had a company in Finland for 13 years that was built on business-to-business services that has esports in a way in the services that we provided. And during that period, during those years, thousands of gigs with the companies who were enjoying driving with the simulators after they had their business days. That wasn't at all about renting time to drivers. That was all about offering the entertainment to the bigger audience. So during that time, as we saw it outside, I saw it outside, and I was combining the pieces wherever what happened. We did try to do TV.
Yeah.
And we did an episode of cross-media esports entertainment.
Okay.
And that was full of stories. That was one of the first how you say it? That was a reality TV also.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one was to combine and work with the Finnish ASN of FIA. So we started hosting a Finnish championship of simracing.
Okay.
And we did that for 3 years. So those were the elements that brought in the hardcore, high-level racing and the entertainment.
Yeah.
And those two are now merging to be the esports auto racing. And that's the backstory.
But it sounds like you've got the simulator business, which is mostly business to business. You've got a TV show and a championship. So all those three pieces, established businesses, we've seen them all over the place, but you want to put all three together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why has this become so personal for you? Why has it pulled at your visionary side so hard?
Well, I loved sim racing ever since I tried it first. And we know that the sim racing is niche, but it's there. It's something that it's going to stay there forever. Then another thing was a personal experience. I also did try to go to the real racing with a track license in Finland. I got close. And then understanding the fact that real racing is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It had cost so many heartaches and bankruptcies when the families try to find the way to their youngsters to follow their dreams. And I know that the thing that we are doing now, the esports of auto racing, that's a possibility. It's really possible to do. We know how to do it. And that will be a choice, an option for you to have a career.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that because it's fun anyway, but that could be a professional challenge. So that's it. I've got it personal, and I'm going to see that it's going to happen.
So I found that really fascinating in my own experience. My assumption was that when I met esports drivers in the flesh for a pro team, that they were all eyes on a different goal eventually. What they wanted was to get noticed by the main race team and get a chance to drive, Jan Mardenborough style out on a GT championship or out on a prototype championship or something like that. I think we all know that F1 is, and some of the higher elite forms of Formula racing are just way out of reach for the vast majority of the people. But I spoke to one esports racer who's on a full-time contract with a race team, and he said, "No, not interested in quote unquote real racing or track racing at all. Not interested in it whatsoever. I just like competing, and I like what I do now, and I will be happy if I can drive a simulator for the rest of my life. No desire." So that's really fascinating to hear you talk about. A career in and of itself for drivers. And it is so it's so evocative. Once you get your hands on any kind of steering wheel, it starts to give you feedback. You might start to upgrade different things. You know what it feels like to be in that car. You lose yourself into that experience. And what I love most of all is you can try absolutely anything. You can, you're not limited by picking one race car, one championship, and then trying to keep that running for the duration of a championship. You can pick absolutely anything, anywhere in the world at any point. And I love that sense of exploration and newness that sim racing gives us. So I completely relate to what you're saying. Okay, awesome. So we're going to move on to ISR next. So let's name it. What actually is ISR? It's Intercontinental Sustainable Racing. But why does it exist? And what's the gap between the ultimate vision and where you are right now?
ISR is the engine,
Mm-hmm.
the company behind the production that turns esports auto racing into a very interesting spectator sports. All the parts are there. We don't have to create the wheel again. We just have to understand what needs to be done in what phases. We need to add more clutch moments. We keep the level of skill intact with sim racing. But on top of that, we have to add layers that are all available. We can take pieces from the other sports and we can make the environments different. But these are the things that we are going to talk, and I will open up much more in the episodes to come.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, we both know how important sim racing is as an experience, but there's a step. From what I'm understanding from what you've said, there's a step between the experience of sim racing and the audience participation and enjoyment of esports auto racing. Have I got that right?
Yeah. Well, you have to take a look. Sim racing is a sport. It's a peer-to-peer. It's a drivers against drivers. And I'm not saying that we should take anything away from there. But to make it interesting to the wider audiences, we need to think that through their lenses.
Yeah.
We need to make this a spectator interesting sport. So that's why certain changes needs to be done, so we can keep all the good and add the layers on the top, so this would boom for many years to come. And one related thing to that is that as this has started from Finland, we have just few months ago established a company in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
And there is a reason for that.
Okay, well, let's let's get into it then. I know a few of the details that you're teasing, and I can't wait to unpack it fully with you later on. But why Saudi Arabia, of all places?
Well, many of us has read the news for the past few years of the strategies that the Saudis has on esports gaming and entertainment. That's a big country with a big amount of population, and they are eager to support projects like this. There is the right attitude, there are amounts of possibilities, and that's why we are there.
Fantastic. Okay, so that really sounds. I'm just not going to bother. I was trying to create some segue out there, and it wasn't happening. Okay, fantastic. All right. So, what stage are we at with ISR right now?
We are preparing the first showcase happening this year. I probably should not tell you the day or the month, but I can tell you the year. And the first steps during that showcase and the future from there is this podcast, what we are doing here right now.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so I mean, I know there's a lot in the works, and a lot of details that everyone will be crying out for. So I do look forward to reading everybody's questions, and we're going to try and address as many as we possibly can in future.
Yes.
So let's move on then.
Okay.
How are we going to wrap this up, Valtteri? Give us a headline. What should people be looking forward to next time, and who are you looking for to help make this real?
The next episode is about the core of the interest of the wide audience. This needs to be a spectator sport in their terms. And who are we looking for? We are looking for teams and drivers, commercial partners, distributors, all of those pieces that are necessary for the whole thing. So, for example, drivers, you mentioned earlier about the sim racer who wants to focus on his career on sim racing. You can, of course, you can choose to practice with sim racing, but you can also join the option that we are bringing on the table and start thinking about being a professional esports auto racing superstar in the future. So this is an option. We are not taking away anything from sim racing or anything. This is just an option you can choose to have your future with.
Amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing. I mean, spectators are at the heart of everything that I do as a commentator, and a content creator as well. So I completely agree, and I can't wait to talk more about it. Thanks so much, Valtteri. Fascinating.
You're welcome.
Beginning to it all. This has been Wheel Insights, a brand new format for Wheel Insights, video for the first time. So we've cracked that particular start. So it's great to talk to you. Great to hear about the starts of ISR and of course your story. Don't forget your questions. Leave them in the comments. And take care. And we'll all catch you on the next race day.
See you, petrol heads.